If you're trying to name the world's most dangerous city, don't even think about Baghdad. To find feuding warlords, rampant death squads, and general mayhem, all you have to do is take one step over the Texas border into Nuevo Laredo, Mexico. Here's a fact that you will not believe you don't know. According to the Dallas Morning News, since 2004, more than 70 Americans have been kidnapped in Nuevo Laredo. Over 24 are still missing. Mexico's border towns have largely lost or ceded control to drug traffickers in a line that could have been taken from Scarface. First they got the drugs, then they got the money, and now they have the power. And why not use that power in someplace other than Mexico? I mean, there's fresh meat on the U.S. side of the border. Democrats love to cry about all the outrageous things that are happening in Iraq, but where's their outrage towards what's happening in their own backyard? Sheriff Rick Flores is fighting on the front line in Laredo, Texas, and Chris Burgard is the director of the documentary Border Sheriff. Sheriff, let me start with you. I got called, when I talked about this today on the radio program, I got calls from listeners who live in that area, and they say they and their families are afraid to even go outside of their house at sometimes, and they say the media is too petrified to even do anything.
Well, the media on Nuevo Laredo side been muzzled. They're not allowed to report anything that's going on, especially any violence.
Have they actually gone into the newspaper plant and bombed it?
They went into a newspaper agency, which is called El Mañana, and they threw a couple of grenades in there, and they sprayed the bullets, AK-47s, hitting people, paralyzing one. And of course, that was just a message that they wanted to pass along to let the media know that they meant business whenever they wanted the media to stay away from publicizing whatever they were doing.
I have to, first of all, thank you for your service, sir. I can't imagine being a sheriff down there. 70 people have been kidnapped since 2004, 25 still missing. Tell me about the two girls. They were young girls that were taken that you know about.
They had gone to a concert in Nuevo Laredo, Mexico, and they were on their way back when they were stopped, apparently by two municipal police officers, and told to get out of the car, and they shoved them into a police car, and they kidnapped them. What we know is information that apparently these two girls were then given to one of the drug lords as a prize, if you will, for the drug lords. It just so happens that
I just want to make sure I understand this. You're saying that two American teens or young girls were given as a gift to a Mexican drug lord.
That's the information that we have, Glenn. I'm disappointed because we run the International Crime Stoppers hotline, and we were getting calls from Nuevo Laredo, which were then reported to the FBI in regards to where these girls were being held. Of course, it's very difficult when you're working with another country, and sometimes the information just doesn't get there.
All right, I've got to go to Chris real quick. Chris, tell me, this is not new to you. You went down and you made this film with the rape trees. Refresh people's memories. Something I just found out about 2 weeks ago. Rape trees. What are they?
This is just not new. Rape trees are the coyotes when they get some of the better-looking women on our side of the border. They'll rape these women, often within earshot of their children or their parents or their husbands that are with the rest of the group. And then they'll have these women hang their panties up on trees, and they become a trophy tree. And this coyote will compare his tree to the fella down the street. And this is the kind of violence that these ranchers and these residents are living with all up and down the southern border.
I have to tell you, it's time that America starts paying attention to this. The ranchers' families, you say you had a few of them in your film. They're afraid to even get out of their car at night. You were with one rancher that found Mexican military ID in their yard. True or false?
True. Falfurrias, Texas, 65 miles north of the border. The Vickers Ranch. You'll see the Vickers Ranch in the movie Border. 3 weeks after I left their ranch in 2005, at a distance of a few yards, they observed 20 soldiers in black BDUs, automatic weapons. First three fellas had state-of-the-art NVG goggles coming through their ranch. And these 20 soldiers with automatic weapons, Their cargo was 6 civilians. This
It
is
is
65 miles north of the border.
Yeah, it is not new, but unfortunately to the media, it is.